changed in Egypt since the downfall of Hosni Mubarak. The goal of the revolution was to rid the country of corruption and police brutality, and it took just 18 days to end Mubarak's 30-year rule. But today, with another general tip to take over the presidency, many are feeling disillusioned. Our Cairo correspondent, Catherine Stapley, has been meeting with some of them.
It was a heady 18 days, full of hope for a better Egypt. Hundreds of thousands protesting in Cairo's Tahrir Square, demanding an end to Hosni Mubarak's corrupt regime. Among them were 3 young activists who at that time shared common goals.
There were lots of battles, like the Battle of the Camel, and I was arrested twice.
3 years later, Wael Abbas is still a prominent blogger and a thorn in the side of the authorities as he continues his fight for a democratic Egypt. Yusuf Salhin was only 18 years old in January 2011. He remembers that time with pride and nostalgia, standing alongside his father in Tahrir Square.
I can't ever forget these days, especially when Mubarak stepped down. It was like awesome a party in Tahrir, and I was very lucky to be there.
He's still fighting, this time to bring back Egypt's only democratically elected president, Mohamed Morsi. From activist to party spokesman, Shihab Wagih has now taken a political route. He joined the Liberal Free Egyptians Party founded after the 2011 revolution.
Everyone was really united against this regime. Whatever was your religion, your political ideology, your way of thinking, your social degree, we were all united against this regime.
And what were your hopes at that time?
What we were all hoping for was to build the new Egypt. Egypt which is built upon democracy, upon freedom.
I was hoping that we can remove Mubarak and remove his regime completely, and that the revolution is the thing that is going to run the country, not a military council, not Islamists, not any of these alternatives, the ugly alternatives that happened the years following the revolution.
Egypt has been through 3 turbulent years since January 2011, with constant protests, first against military rule, and then against the Islamist president Mohamed Morsi, who was elected in June 2012. A year later, and the army removed him from power, bowing to the will of millions of Egyptians who took to the streets demanding he step down. As nationalist fervour grips the country, the authorities are continuing to crack down on anyone critical of the army-backed regime, either from the Muslim Brotherhood or the secular revolutionaries.
Egypt is occupied by its own military now. Its job to protect and save the country, not to run the country, not to control the country, not to own the country.
What happened recently is a military coup. It's clear. The army has interests, economical and political and international interests that they want to keep and maintain. And there's a huge crackdown on freedom of the press and freedom of expression. We haven't seen anything like that maybe since the 60s.
But not everyone feels that way, and many Egyptians want the very popular army chief, General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, to be Egypt's next president. He's the man they believe can bring back stability after so much turmoil. Despite previously protesting against military rule, Shihab doesn't see any contradiction in General Sisi becoming the president.
This is exactly the misunderstanding, to say that if General Fattah al-Sisi is in power, then the country is in the hands of the army. The army is having much powers today, yeah, but in the end of the day, the army will not rule. Who will rule will be political parties.
Either through joining the system or fighting against it. All these revolutionaries, Wael, Yusuf and Shihab, are still battling to bring democracy to Egypt.
I felt that there is hope, especially in the youth, that they understand what is really happening, unlike the older generation that want to retrieve the past again because they felt safe back then.
We were somehow naive to believe that we've done the revolution, we completed it, and that's it. But now we discovered that the revolution that is a whole corrupted system, and we have to remove the whole system.
We had many problems after the 25th of January, but at least we are on the way.
On Tahrir Square, the authorities have put up a monument to the more than 850 people who died during those 18 days. A signal that, as far as they're concerned, the time for revolution is well and truly over.
Catherine Stapley there reporting from Cairo. Well, it's time for a short break here on France 24. More news and headlines still to come.